what it is like to be an entrepreneur and what changes has it brought to your life personally after you started building your business, seeing your first success, making your first 10 and 50K.
Yeah, it's honestly it's surreal. It's something that I thought I would achieve at least around this time, and it's one of those things where it's like you get into this and you want to serve with some type of like honesty and integrity when it comes.
Welcome to Heart and Profit Podcast, a place where purpose driven entrepreneurs can get practical advice on how to build high ticket businesses in 20 minutes or less. This is your host, Eugene and Donovan, former clinical psychologist, sign language interpreter, software engineer, and your business mentor and a coach. Grab your favorite drink, relax, and get ready for practical and transformational advice for your business. Hello, everybody. Today, I have another guest on my podcast, Donovan. And today, we're going to talk about really the realities of entrepreneurship because Donovan and I we've been working together for 6 months, and I'm sure you've seen Donovan on my channel before, but I really wanted to sit down and talk about all things entrepreneurship, especially entrepreneurship when we're gonna dive into it. So, hello, Donovan. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you, Eugene?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So, um, first of all, I wanted to honor your decision to continue to work with me. Like after 6 months, renew for another month, for another 6 months, and um, for my objective with those 6 months is really to bring growth to
Mhm.
your business because I work with different entrepreneurs. I work with entrepreneurs who are already in business and they charge $12,000. And I work with entrepreneurs who never ran a business before and they don't know what they could charge. And they have to really overcome a lot of money mindset issues and like really start at least with like proof of concept, like $2,500 offer and gradually go up. So I would like to ask you, what is like, you see your business is growing, but like what it is like to be like an entrepreneur and what changes has it brought to your life personally after you started building your business, seeing your first success, making your like first 10 and 50K and like really growing your business. How does it feel and what has it done in your personal life?
Yeah, it's honestly it's surreal. It's something that I thought I would achieve at least around this time, and it's one of those things where it's like you get into this and you want to serve with some type of like honesty and integrity when it comes to businesses, connecting with people, and making sure you don't break that trust, which is something I'm very sensitive of, because I don't want people to break trust with me. I don't want others to break trust with others. And so it's one of those things where it's more so about the connection and getting people to trust you and having that authority. And you definitely trained me in that aspect of, it was just more so I had this hidden sort of talent and experience that I didn't know how to convey to others. And come to find out, it was just a matter of just pushing me and pointing me in the right direction, saying like, "Hey, you should do videos. Hey, you should post more. Hey, you should talk about your experience and then maybe add a little bit of your personal life to these calls and to these videos. And people will show up. They just need somebody to relate to. And so for some reason, I don't know why I was self-conscious of sharing that side of me. Cause, when you're on social media, it's all about like, oh, look what I have, look at this, look at that, and so it's like a flex. And so people see like this mask, and you don't want to come off as that, and then you don't want to come off as like also a Debbie Downer. Like nobody wants to see people talk badly about themselves. And so it's this fine like balance, right? Like of just being your authentic self, and knowing how to connect with people. And so that was one of the things that's really changed for me. I've When I first started doing live streams and videos, I was nervous, but I've gotten better at it, how I communicate, how I talk, and how I just tap into that experience and what to talk about. And then just as people showing up, messaging me, commenting, and saying, Donovan, oh, you're doing great. This is so inspiring. Even some of my colleagues who I haven't talked to in a while and checking up on me, say, hey, Donovan, I see your videos. They're very good. Keep up the good work, man. And so that just blows my mind. And yeah, it's just been, now I'm at this thought leader position. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a lead voice for web development now. I want to get a lead voice in
Wow.
AI eventually, but yeah. So those are some of the things that just open so many opportunities. And then obviously clients who are interested may not get all the clients to show up or sign up on the first call, but I'm getting some attention. So
Yeah, and yeah, like that's definitely it. So, during my previous live streams and live trainings, I started emphasizing this idea that it is essential for us as entrepreneurs to build our own table, and I think it can be really relevant to a lot of Black and Latino entrepreneurs that based on based on my based on what I've seen, right? Sometimes we really like a lot of systems like are not really set up for the success. And a lot of the times a lot of the times entrepreneurs have to build their own businesses, and this is how people really can break into like higher tax bracket, higher income bracket rather, and create that opportunity. And also I think it is also creating your legacy because younger generation can see you that what is available to you, that it's not just 9 to 5, it's not just um getting a permission to like to do something, but rather going after your dream, rather going after your life by design and creating something bigger than yourself. So can you share your thoughts on that?
yeah, it's just one of those things where when you go and create something that's big and that's so unique, it almost kind of scares you in a sense because it's something that you never done before, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that was one of the things that I struggled with because Eugene, I know I think you should remember early within like January, I was on this platform selling my mentorship services, and I didn't know how to market it really. And
Mm-hmm.
I was self-conscious on like how to approach people like, hey, I didn't want to start off like too salesman-y, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just one person, sign up for it. And it was kind of like a 30-minute thing. And it didn't feel very validating or fulfilling. Um, and between that experience and this experience now, it's just night and day, really. Like I'm so glad and appreciative of this new experience I'm having where I'm actually making a difference and making bigger leaps compared to where I was by myself, didn't know how to market that platform and just connect with people on that platform. And not only that, but there was also competition on that platform of like other lead instruct or lead
Mm-hmm.
YouTubers that I was going against. Christian, who else? So one other guy I can't remember, but a few other YouTubers I used to follow, still follow to this day, coding YouTubers.
Hmm.
And so it's, being on my own little wave where they're not doing the things that I do, at least to my knowledge outside of YouTube, and how I'm doing it on LinkedIn is different because I don't think no one's doing it the way I do it. And to be a person of color that's doing it, that's also interesting.
Yeah, I would say, well, I see all kinds of mentors, but I really think is that really you have your unique way, right? Because like nobody is like, I mean, I'm sure a lot of other coaches teach what I teach in their different way, but nobody teaches exactly how I teach it. Because like again, we all have our unique experiences. For example, I don't teach webinars, even though I taught webinars. And when I say I don't teach webinars, this is what I mean. I don't teach where you collect registrations for your webinar and then like you center your marketing only about webinar. And then on the webinar, hopefully you can make sales. Hopefully somebody will sign up if you present it correctly. But I rather do organic content marketing. I'd rather do multiple live streams so you can establish trust, you can establish their authority and sell that. But again, um, people will resonate with that, right? My people will resonate with that. Some people will say, you know what? I only do webinar. I only do registrations. And I would like to continue to do that because this method is simply not for me. I don't want to do live streams. I'd rather do like private Zoom rooms and like I'd rather spend a month or two collecting registrations, right? And again, this is like this is a strategy, but somebody can like may not resonate with like one or the other method, right? But um I'm also curious, what really inspired you to like really be an entrepreneur? Because this is really fascinating to me because I'm also a software engineer, right? I'm an iOS developer, or it was my corporate path, right? Right now, I'm running my business company and my coaching practice, but I'm really curious because I keep hearing from software engineers like, "Oh, I want to start my business," but like they don't really know what it means. They think they need to create an app that like somehow will make them a bunch of money, and they don't know how the app can make them a bunch of money. So what inspired you to start a mentorship program and really to go off entrepreneurial route?
Yeah, great question. Well, first of all, I've been volunteering teaching kids and underrepresented how to code, well, kids and adults how to code. And this was something I've gained over the years. And the reason why I started doing this is because at the time when I was learning software development, I didn't have a mentor. I learned all of this on my own. There wasn't a lot of meetups. There wasn't a lot of like online resources at the time. You had Codecademy, but it was like buggy as all get out. Like you'll try to complete a question or complete something in Codecademy and you hit submit and it tell you it's wrong when in fact it's right. So it was just really buggy back in the day when I first started using Codecademy. And I would use Udemy and some other courses, but I found myself stretching myself too thin and applying to jobs and looking like a deer in the headlight. And so one alternative way to get experience was like volunteering. And so I joined a meetup group. I taught at a meetup group a few times. And then when I was on Twitter and I tweet about it, other programs start coming to me saying like, "Oh, can you teach for my program? Would you be open to teach for my program?" And so if my schedule allowed it, I would teach for those programs voluntarily. And so it became more of a thing where I did it in the necessity of I needed experience, and this was the only way to get experience, even if it was like free or cheap or just voluntarily. And so I did everything in my power to get that experience that I didn't have. And so that teaching experience turned into more of a, you're becoming a thought leader in this, whether you realize it or not, which I didn't at the time. I didn't realize it. I was just like, hey, I just need experience. And so I want to do everything to show I know what I know. And so um
Yeah.
from there, it just all snowballed and became more of a passion thing for me. And so I would get people that wanted me to mentor them here and there, and I would typically do it for free or like cheap or something. And then I did that platform that was on, and I just didn't know how to market myself. And so aside from that, the what made me want to do it was just or get into mentorship. I'm not well, entrepreneurship is basically so feel I'm at like this pillar moment, like I'm in the industry, I know what I know, and I'm taking courses and keeping up with the industry. It's like, what's that next point for me? And there's been signs, universe, God, whatever you may or may not believe,
Mhm.
that's directed me towards doing a little bit more and that taking that next step. And that is starting my own business, doing mentorship, reaching out to people, like move me to that next step. And so I'm just at this point just embracing and enjoying the process and enjoying how the ups and the downs I've had in this little experience and this experience with you, Eugene. When it comes to clients and figuring out like my voice and how the rhythm things. When it comes to just connecting with people online,
I
it's
do
been.
have a question
Oh,
though
go ahead.
about like the comment on the clients because look, you posted a video, right? And I released it like a video not too long ago. That when we it was behind the scenes, like in our coaching like a call that you say, hey, like I got 4 clients just from a single video. Can you like I did a breakdown how it happened. Can you break down that for our listeners and like who is watching this episode, how that possible? Because here's the thing: what we see in the industry right now, uh, a lot of people, especially when it comes to online coaching space, and a lot of online mentorship, a lot of people are hesitant to separate with the money. So it's not the whole lot of like people jumping on board with coaching programs. It's just the truth. And like either you are well established coaching um or mentor, like you have well established business, so you've been in business for a while. You're not 2020 coach, you're not pandemic produced coach, you're not new coach, but you rather run your coaching business for like 5 6 years, something like that. So those coaches, they see the slowdown, but like it's still possible to make the like that recurring revenue for newer coaches who started like 2020 and later. It's hell and a half because a lot of people are burnt out with the coaching. A lot of people are like a little bit careful, and of course the economic downturn, recording, just posting one video and getting 3 5 clients, this is not the norm. And this is like 2020 reality almost. So can you break down what have you done, what was required, and how that happened? Like if you were to break down and analyze and like, okay, like somebody is listening, okay, I want to create that video, so what do I do? So how would you break it down?
Yeah, Eugene, I'm to this day, and to this day, I'm very shocked. That was like, I think, lightning in a bottle type thing because I just said what was on my mind and how I was feeling. And so it was more of a s- kind of like a series of fortunate events, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way I can describe it because I took some time off to go to my buddy's cabin. I wasn't expecting to talk about code or anything. I was going to relax, go down the river, eat some barbecue, and whatever my friends were going to cook, because we had I got a couple of friends out there who are chefs and just love
Mhm.
cooking, and so I was just going to eat, drink, and play video games with my buddies,
Right.
and so that's what I was looking forward to. I'm like, I'm not bringing my computer for code or anything. It's just going to be drinks, video games, food. That's it, right?
And then you
Go
just
there.
show up like organically and like this is your personal piece and you said
Yes.
that.
Yes. So I go in, right? And so I have a buddy that I haven't seen in a long time who's a photographer. And so I don't know how it started. Had a few drinks in me. So but we were on a porch and we were talking, right? And so he was like, yeah, I'm trying to get into development. Somebody told me, I think it's so and so that said that you do like mentorship with kids or something like that. I was like, yeah, well, I also own my own like coaching business or mentoring
Mhm.
business. And so we got started talking about that, and he's saying like, yeah, I want to get into coding and web development, but there's just so many opinions out here. I don't know where to start. Everybody has saying to go to this route, go to that route. There's all these articles. I think I want to do this type of development, but they say don't go to that type of development, and this person and YouTube. And so he's
So
just
you did market research. So you basically took what you heard from your audience because your
hmm
friend is your audience, right? This
hmm
is literally when I say you have to use your customer's voice and their
yes,
wording, this is what you did. So you
yes,
basically, because I remember that video, and you
yes.
basically that said that those words, and then you proceeded with call to action to book a call with
Yes.
you, right?
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. So that's what happened. So I took that experience. Well, first of all, he was interested in mentorship with me. So I'm going to be talking to him the end of this week, actually tomorrow. And so, and then yeah, I just took that experience. I'm like, I got to talk about this. I have to talk about this when I get back from the cabin. And so when I got back, that was like maybe the one of the second things I did when I got back was just like sat down in this area, recorded, and I just went for it. I'm like, this is what's going to happen, and this is how it happens. And if you're stuck, if you need mentorship, book a call with me. I love to help you. And so that video, and I call it the lightning in the bottle video. Hopefully, I'll have a couple of more in coming down the pipeline because that was awesome. That just opened the floodgates. Like I literally had like 5 people like message me, or and so I
Yeah.
had two
So,
calls this week, and then
oh wow.
uh, yeah, yeah. I had 2 calls this week, and so and then I have a third call coming up once I send out the scheduling the book a call with me. I
Mhm.
think a guy from overseas, which is going to be interesting. So yeah,
So
it's impressive. So
so kind of like to summarize what really this like triggering components like first of all it's market research, so listen to your people. And I know a lot of you might roll your eyes and like, well, I know my people. Well, why you're not talking like your people? Because if you know your people, you know what they're saying, take their words and
mhm,
use them. Yeah, it may not sound pretty because, like, listen, by content creator standpoint, your video is, like it's probably not gonna blow up the internet, or it might. I don't know. So, but uh, it was very relevant to your people, and also when you show out as yourself, when you use their words and you use the right call to action that trigger that effect. And also, can you talk about your network because traffic is important? So, who
yes.
is you in your network on LinkedIn? Are those a majority of people in your connections want to become front end developers or already front end developers or they're in tech? Like, what is
Mhm.
that looking like?
Yeah, so it's mostly a variety of tech people, business owners. It's people who I've met over the years, basically. Like I've already had, when we started working together, over 500 connections, just going to events and being present and just showing my enthusiasm for tech and web development. Uh, But since then, I have gained some new followers that just would like follow me randomly, not connect with me, but follow me randomly. And I would follow up with them with a question like, hey, why you're following me? What resonated with you? Kind of the same strategies that you implemented.
Mhm.
And sometimes I don't get a response, sometimes I do. So it's just kind of like, but the I would say the last few new followers I got are people who are curious about web development. I had a When I released that video, one of my colleagues shared that, two of my colleagues shared that. And so and It got to a lady who lives in Texas that followed me and connect with me, and she's interested in mentorship down the road. She said right now she doesn't have the funds to afford a
Mhm.
mentorship because he she realizes pay, but she said, yeah, I do want to follow you closely. Once I get my finances straight, I don't know her
Mhm.
situation. Once I get my
Right.
finances straight, I do want to consider mentorship with you. And so it was just those two shares I think really helped, honestly, whoever shared those. And for someone to share those, I had to hit like some type of like feel good moment or feel good like sense, right? Of like,
Yeah.
wow, he's really passionate about this. You really talking about this. Let me share this so other people can see what
Mhm.
Donovan is offering. And so,
So, so really, when it comes down to that, like you know your customer really well, which is essential. You have to know your customer really well. And if you don't know what they're afraid of, if they don't know who they follow, if you don't know what they want, if they don't know what they watch after work, you have work to do. I'm not kidding you. You
mhm,
have work to do. Because like, well, Eugene, how do I know what they watch? Like, ask them. Like this is the first social selling principle. If you're not sure about people, ask people like, okay, what do you struggle with? Okay, like how was your weekend? Like what did you do? Like when is your favorite TV show? When is your favorite book? And it seems like a very friendly conversation, but you're actually getting data. Like, okay, why in the world would I be interested in what they're reading? Because this is how they nurturing themselves. Maybe
mhm,
they're reading the books that like they shouldn't read or will affect them in a certain way, like okay, because they're reading that book, this is why they think about, like this is your content,
mhm.
right? And I'm making this stuff up right now, but like this is the level of specificity you have to be at in your marketing. And last but not least, Donovan, how people can connect with you, and like if somebody is interested in front end development, um, how they would connect with you and when they can find you.
Yeah, sure. So they can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm Donovan Brown. I have a little computer icon next to my face. My face is very recognizable. Just gray sweater suit with dreadlocks. I'm smiling. So just look for me there. I do have a website, cv.brownc.donovan.com. You can reach me there and look at my website. And then also my email address, browncdonovan@gmail.com. So those are some places that you can come and reach me at. And yeah, I'm open to take on new mentees. So looking forward to connect.
All right, so connect with Donovan, and thank you so much for being on the show. I'll see you next time.
All right.
uh, Thank you so much for tuning in for this episode. Do me a solid. If we're not connected yet on socials, connect with me on LinkedIn and Instagram. Also, if you're listening to this episode and you're thinking, okay, this is useful, this is good, how do I work with you? All the links on for my social media, for to book a call, to follow me on YouTube, on LinkedIn and Instagram are in the description box below for this episode. Also, share this episode with your fellow entrepreneurs so more purpose driven entrepreneurs will get actionable advice how to build their profitable high ticket businesses. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next episode.